Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Like a torta with the bad habit. Bye up, bye up. Man, let's get straight to that intro. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So let's get straight into this. Hoodstocks versus Haters World. Blue on blue. We hear a lot, man, especially right here when you're talking about the gun, about red on red, right? You always hear about norteños versus norteños, the red on red that happens. The shit that you're not supposed to talk about, but it's whispered behind the scenes. But you never really hear too much about blue on blue. See, one thing I could tell you about blue on blue is blue on blue has always happened. It's never ceased to exist. It's never stopped, right? It's always been like that. How do I know? Because I watched it firsthand. In fact, someone just got in my comment section the other day and was like, "You're full of shit, Gun. There's never blue on blue. When the camaradas and the homeboys get locked up, they're all together." I'll tell you right now, maybe that's the way it is in prison, the Southern United Raza. I'll give you that. But in the county jails, hey, there's a lot of enemigos that come through and they're looked at a little bit differently, right? In the juvenile halls, in the California Youth Authorities back when they were open, I'm going to tell you right now, if you were an enemy, it was on and cracking. I personally witnessed 18 Streeters versus Florencia, 38th Street and 18 Crazy Riders, El Monte Flores going at it with Hayes. I seen a lot, right? And I could tell you guys that right now. I remember a dude from Laverne touching down, and then dudes from Pomona 12th Street Sharkies gave him the blues every single day of the month. So with that being said, maybe it doesn't happen behind the California prison walls, because we all know behind the walls, everyone must answer to something bigger than themselves. But at the end of the day, blue on the streets and behind the walls has happened, and it has happened continuously. And it seems to be happening now on the YouTube yarda, right? Social media, the internet, the fucking internet. Can you believe that, right? You have Hoodstocks, which is a very popular Los Angeles-based Northeast LA podcast, versus Haters World, which is a very popular. Is that shit popular? I don't know, right? You could tell I have a little bit of a bias, and I do. And I'll explain the whole situation. First of all, shout out to Lucky from Hoodstocks. We have never had any correspondence, any conversation, anything like that, nor would I elect to try, nor would I even believe that he would accept a phone call or anything like that, right? So we'll leave that at that. And that has to do to my standings within the gang community, not being a gang member, not being an active norteño, all that. I get it. I respect it. It is what it is. But one thing I can say about Lucky, he's even Steven across the board, man. He keeps it a buck. He keeps it 100. He keeps it gangster, right? And his podcast is pretty out there. And you know what he does? He asks the hard questions and he gives the hard respect. And I respect that about him. He plays the game the way I was taught. He's educated along the same lines. He understands who to deal with and who not to deal with. And I know a lot of people feel a certain way about Lucky Sun Tzu, but I don't. A lot of people question his heritage, that he's not Mexicano, that he's only half, that half ain't enough, half is more than enough, right? But at the end of the day, I'll say this, the Hoodstocks brand, the label, everything gets represented well by its host. And I respect it, man. I like the way he gives shout outs to norteños and gives respect to up north, as well as letting it be known and representing the South. That's fine, right? Then on the other side of the aisle, you got Haters World. The name says it for itself, Haters World. This is a man who started out as a YouTuber, tipping up cows over and trying to be a comedian. Then all of a sudden realized that shit wasn't going to work and just went back to the drawing board, revisioned, got on that vision board, right? And realized, hey, I know how I can make it. I could be a Southsider. Shower, right? And that was it. And next thing you know, he came on hella hardcore. You know, we seen Campo all over. We seen Sur all over. You don't see that anymore. You see a couple blue paños tied to a mic stand. But all that stuff he was putting out there, he got checked on it and he realized, hey, I can't be putting that shit out there. I'm gonna have to pay to play, right? And this guy got straight to hating, but it seems like the people he hates most on are other Southsiders, people that are kind of doing the same thing that he's doing, even if they were doing it after him or before him. It's just a trip, right? That's just how that dude Blue Devil works. Now, I've heard all the names: Blue Diva, Blue Torta, Blue Verga, Blue fucking Nalga, all these different names that people give him. I'm going to keep it 100, man, and call him Blue Devil because that's the name that he's put out there. And he's very devilish in what he does. He likes to stir up controversy, and he understands, like I understand being a content creator, that the way to the pocketbook, the way to the money, homie, right, is through conflict and controversy. And yes, he's been involved in a lot. We all know what happened with Whack 100, right? Whack 100 called him a lot of despicable things, and Blue Devil choked. He doesn't like to talk about that, right? It just is what it is. You know, he likes to every once in a while when he's down on his luck, mention my name or talk about me, even when I don't even mention him. When people ask about him, I try to ignore the situation. I don't like that man, but at the end of the day, I don't know that man. One thing I know for sure is that Ozemp got him, right? That you could peptides, homie, right? You can see that shit. But now he has this beef going on, and this beef is with Hoodstocks. And initially, I'll keep it real, I didn't know too much of where this beef stemmed from, right? I understand that, you know, Lucky was feeling some type of way while he was having some imaginary beef that Adam 16 started with No Jumper over a racial comment that was taken out of context and just blown up. And I'm not backing anyone's play. Lucky said some shit he probably shouldn't have said, but he said it, and he had to ride with it, and he did. And there was a lot of the black community that was angered by it. It was fueled by a white man, Wood, right? Adam, old Billy Western himself, fuck my wife himself, and fuck my wife, right? He pumped it all up, pumped the black community up, pumped everybody up to hate on Lucky. Whatever the case may be, Lucky decided to question and to see where he was at within his community of Southerners, and merely said, man, if any Southsider goes over there, they're not to No Jumper, they're no longer welcome on his podcast, because he felt like it was like, ride with me, homie. You know what I mean? You guys are over there fucking with a dude who's utilizing you, and his isn't your raza. He isn't part of you. He's just taking advantage of the sweat off your brow, homie. But a lot of people didn't see it that way. They seen it as Lucky trying to push his weight around and trying to say, if you're a Southsider, if you do this, something bad's gonna happen to you. He didn't say nothing like that. Word for word, he said, if you go over there, I ain't fucking with you. Straight up. You've chose your side, homie. And there's been dudes like Tommy Guns, other dudes that have chose to go over there. So we'll see if Lucky holds to his word. I believe so, and I think he will, because he's always been about that. So I don't think, you know, Blue Devil like that. And I think even more so what Blue Devil try to do is challenge that. Because at the end of the day, Blue Devil's about stirring up controversy and whatever sells, whatever's going to get clicks and views. And I understand that. I ain't knocking the hustle. That man got major hustle, right? He's on every platform fucking talking shit about everybody. So it's all good. But at the end of the day, when you describe and you see someone who's a hater towards his own people the most, it's not questioning his people and being on point and keeping it real and being even. It's someone who's literally knows the Southsiders are popping, so he's going to proclaim to be one, and at the end of the day, throw them under the bus because they're the easiest people to get access to. That's how it is. That's how it goes, right? When you're around a certain people, you know the intimate details of what they got going on behind the scenes. They're the easiest to throw under the bus. It's like a co-defendant. He knows what you did, so he's going to point you out and tell everything. And that's basically what Blue Devil does. I'm not calling him a rata or a snitch or anything like that. I'm just saying if you take it in the same context, that's kind of what it is. You know? It's weird. Now, there's a beef that's been brewing and it's going on between Hoodstocks and Haters World. And people like to believe that this beef is because they're two of the biggest podcasts in Southern California that pretty much represent the same culture, identify with some of the same things, gang symbolisms and stuff, allegedly, right? We're not going to put anyone on blast, Blue Devil. And it just is what it is. But it's more so than that. It goes deeper. There's jealousy. There's animosity. And most of that is on Blue Devil's side. And you can see it. Lucky ain't tripping off the Haters World. You know, he might have put them on blast and said something, you know, because he felt a certain way, because he's going to hold his homeboys as an older vato accountable, you know, but that's glecha. That's called education. If you see someone bowing down to different races. If you see someone, you know what I mean, scared to fucking keep it real with one people, but they'll keep it real with these people because they feel protected. Hey, you fucking put it out there. You're like, hey, homie, you know what I mean? Well, why didn't you check that Africano, homie? But you check the brothers. I mean, you check the homies, right? You know what I mean? You feel me? It's real, and it's not nothing against the black community, man. I got love for the black community, black and brown. I started that way. I'm gonna end that fucking way. But I'm saying the brothers would feel the same way. If there was a brother, man, that was all on the Mexicans jock, right? And he was quick to throw a brother under the bus. They'd be like, no, hold on now, cuz. Oh, power, what's going on here, right? So it works every different way, in every different direction. You know, people could say what they want to say, but we all know, man, Blue Devil don't want zero smoke with any man with pigmentation in his skin. He don't want no problem with brothers, man. Nope, no way. You want to know why? For two reasons. One, he's scared to death of a brother, man. And two, and this is even more so than that, right? This is even more so than that. He knows, man, brothers is where the money's at. If he can get the brothers in pocket, like Poetic Flacco, come on, right? Because Poetic Flacco's getting a few views, all of a sudden they're best friends, right? Because if you can get the brothers in pocket, man, there's a big community. And one thing about the brothers is they stick together. Maybe not on the streets in Chicago, they'll kill your shit, right? But on the internet and social media, brothers, man, support each other. And he knows if he can get in that community ingrained and show them some love and fake it to make it, they're going to fucking watch his shit. And that's exactly what that man has done. Manipulation at its finest. And I ain't mad at him. Shit, if you believe it, be a Salk guy and believe it. As far as this beef, it's been getting a little hot and heavy lately. So much so that I took notice of it. And I probably wouldn't have took notice of it if Blue Devil didn't open his fat fucking mouth. And that's just real. You know, this constant jabbing at me or talking shit about me or Dio this or Dio that. Bro, you ain't dropped out yet because you ain't never went to prison. If you go to prison, bro, I'll put everything I own on it, bro. You won't last a few months. You'll be out of there, buddy. The first time they try to hand you a piece, you'll hand it back and PC up. Straight up. There ain't no fucking way on heaven, earth, green. There ain't no way that motherfucker right there, Blue Devil, has the potential to be a fucking real hitter or to do anything or to even do a pegada. He doesn't have it in him. That motherfucker was shivering over the phone with Wack. What paperwork? What paperwork? I just said, stop it, bro. The first moment in LA County they hand you a fucking pedazo, you're gonna turn it into a fucking Vegaso, right? Bro, you're not doing shit. I already know. You know what I mean? Hey, believe me, I come from a lifetime of anguish, a lifetime of putting in work, a lifetime of, you know what I mean, a YA baby, man. I was getting fucking battery packs, stabbed, shit, knives, all kinds of different shit, man. They handed me a pedazo. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do with this, eh? Right? You know, so stop it, bro. Big old motherfucker Sureño hands you something like, hey, yes, say, you're gonna be like, no, I say, you know what I'm saying? I'm a comedian, eh? Right? Stop. Just stop, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and say Lucky's the biggest badass in the world either. But one thing I'll say is the amount of respect he showed towards the people that go to his podcast, the level of respect in the game that I know he has just due to certain individuals that have pulled up to his podcast. I can tell you right now, that Vato would definitely handle some type of business. Now, I'm not just saying picking a side over another side. I just don't see it in the devil. You got Blue Angel, Earth Angel, would you be mine? Right? You're not doing nothing, bro. But Blue Devil likes to talk that shit. He likes to, you know, act like he's the #1 podcast in Southern California and he's the one representing the Sur gang, right? But he don't want to pay. Lucky had an unfortunate event that happened lately. And these suckers, man, like Blue Devil, Poetic Flacco, and so many others are taking advantage of that, man. And instead of helping a man in the podcasting community, and at least, and then you don't have to give him no money, you don't have to give him a hug, you don't have to do anything, but at least recognizing the shit he's going through and giving him a helping hand or saying, you know what, hey, man, that's fucked up. Instead, you want to kick a man while he's down. Well, guess what? Now what happened? Poetic Flacco point and shoots, eating him up, right? That motherfucker's numbers are going, they're fluttering, right? And now you have people having to pick sides between Hoodstocks and Haters World, and it shouldn't be like that. If you're representing a Southern united raza, shouldn't you be about uniting the raza? But instead, Haters World and Hoodstocks, there's division amongst the Sur down in Southern California, and it's a blue on blue situation. It's a situation that, you know, I can't sit here anymore and say the Norteños from up north can sit back and point and talk about because they got a lot going on amongst themselves as well nowadays. But it's definitely a situation that has happened forever. And I know, people are, well, that's real gangster shit. Homies feel the way they feel. No, that's cool. You're entitled to feel however you feel in that gangster lifestyle. But one thing I will tell you, right? It doesn't look good. It makes people talk. The mystique of the sur, the norte, the this and the that, man, has definitely mellowed out over the years because people are seeing dudes like Blue Devil who say they represent a certain thing displaying feminine characteristics. It's just the truth. Bro, you're on a diet drug, bro. Stop. What the fuck? Work out. Let's say you see Swifty Blue. Yeah, you don't talk shit about Swifty tomorrow because Swifty fuck around and beat you up with his back arm. Swift, every time you see Swifty now, he's fucked. The motherfucker thinks he's Tookie Williams. That motherfucker's flexing his shit. That motherfucker can't roll a joint without flexing. He's like I've seen that motherfucker. Hey, that motherfucker was on live. Fools like Swifty, Rolaleño. That motherfucker went like that. You know what I mean? What's up, brother? What you gonna do when Swifty's coming for you, Blue Devil? He don't talk about him no more. The fact is, this beef between Hoodstocks and Haters World can cause real life drama because you're gonna have people that fuck with Hoodstocks and people that fuck with Haters World that are outside of the box, real gangsters, real motherfuckers, right? Because I'm not saying Blue Devil don't hang around some real motherfuckers, man. Respects to them dudes he hangs around with. There's some hitters around there, I'm sure, right? There's hitters from everywhere. And I know Lucky been around some motherfuckers, right? Without quietly as his cat. We've seen it. We don't need to say it. But it's just drama, blue on blue amongst these two individuals. And, people want to kick Lucky while he's down because his studio burned down. And then I seen people blaming Haters World. Haters World has zero to do with that, I'm sure, right? Don't put a jacket on someone, like he likes to do to myself and other people. But don't be like a fat fucker, right? Just be real. And I'll say this, man, unfortunately, Hoodstocks went through some hardship, but he's bubbled back and he's coming back stronger. And I think Haters World thought, hey, man, this dude's out of the way. Now it's the takeover's real. The takeover's never been real. You only can take over if you are a leader and you can take over. If you don't have the takeover fucking chip inside you, embedded in you, bro, then you ain't taking shit over, right? The fact is, there's enough room for everybody to eat. It always doesn't have to be the word compete. It could be everybody eat. But see, I've seen this shit for years and years and years, man. This is the mentality. This is the gang mentality. This is the, hey, we're better than you. Because every barrio was primera, meaning every barrio was number one. Can't no one tell you shit about your hood. Can't no one tell you a bad thing about your hood. There's no flaws. You're flawless, right? You know what I'm saying? You got gang of roaches in your hood. No, we're good, bro. We don't need no raid, eh? We're straight, right? You say the word raid in a hood and everyone starts running, right? And I'm not talking about fucking the Task Force Tuesday. I'm talking about a camp. Like, fuck, your homegirl's bad, bro. You guys need this shit. Her pad, fuck, eh? Right? Shit, that kick cereal, it's all gone. She just bought it yesterday. Damn, all those kids ate it. Now the roaches did. Straight up. Have you ever poured out fucking Lucky Charms and more roaches came out than marshmallows? That's hood shit. Hoodstocks, Haters World, man. I think that if these guys work together or if these guys got on the same page and just let the beef go, man, they could really take over some shit. But Blue Devil, I believe, doesn't want that. He wants to be number one. He wants to prove to everyone that he's the biggest and the baddest. And he thinks by having the black community, behind him, by having people outside of his raza behind him, that's going to help him. Look, it can't hurt you. But at the end of the day, man, you can't sit there and say you're a raza-oriented, podcast, and this is who you're focusing on, and these are your peoples, and then throw them same people under the bus. And this guy could talk, and people are like, well, he's just real, homie. He keeps it real with everybody. That ain't, yeah. Until a motherfucker pulls up and he reports him. Then, yeah, you're right. Then he keeps it real with the YouTube popo too. Right? The motherfucker went to my bed. Hey, he pulled up to my podcast. Hey, he wasn't getting a boba. Right? So we know. The fact is this, man. Hey, who wins Hoodstocks Haters World? Everyone loses because people are divided. And I'm sure there's people that watch both podcasts with like not even trying to get involved in the beef. But one thing about beef, and I'll tell you guys right now, at first it's cool. It's a little drama. It's exciting. You know what I'm saying? You like it and shit, but it gets old after a while. When you got the same old haters, like I got trolls that go in on me every fucking day, video after video after video after video. Anything I do, whatever I wear, they'll talk about my hat. They'll talk about my shirt. You ain't even in California. Why you got a California shirt on? Bitch, shut up, right? All these different things that I do, right? And they talk and trip out on this. it gets old, right? After a while, kind of gets you in the boo-boo, right? It gets old after a while, and people are like, man, that's all you got to talk about? Your whole life is about this guy or about Dubs or about that, right? You know, one thing I can say about Haters World, he's a hard worker. You know, Blue Devil, he's a hard worker. He puts in his work. I can't knock that. But every once in a while, when he's down on his luck, you got to mention Gunner. You know, as far as Lucky has never mentioned me, not one time. Everything he's done is homegrown. He puts in his work. He gets his interviews. I mean, he's doing his thing, man. You can't knock him. Can't hate on him. And I'm not just fucking giving him love because I don't like Blue Devil, because it could be Blue Devil versus anyone, and fuck Blue Devil. That's just what it is with me. I'm not going to sit there and play nice with that guy. He doesn't pose a threat to me whatsoever. I'm not intimidated at all, right? And I'm sure he's not intimidated by me, and I'm not meant to be intimidating. I'm meant to be real. You know, motherfucker, you don't like the raza, bro? Straight up. You're scared to death of Whack 100. Straight up. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different things going on. But anyways, they got this beef going on, man. And people are like, well, Hoodstocks started it by putting them on blast. I don't give a fuck who started it. The real man is the one that ends it. Let me know what you guys think. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly and honestly believe in, and that's the betterment. Listen, Blue Devil, listen, watch out. Of all people, north, south, east, it doesn't matter to me, eh? I remember when this fool used to talk about busters, this, northerners, then all of a sudden he was like, oh, I can get more numbers if I fuck with the northerners. Then it was all the homies from the north or North Daniel. Man, if you don't stop it, Mr. Adapter, that about is a chameleon. Anyways, this video is sponsored by Barrio Liquors in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the Barrio, make sure that you pull up, man, to Barrio Liquors in Turlock, California, and go to Barrio Liquors, man, and get you something cold to drink. Also, by Sticks and Stones Yard Service in Tucson, Arizona. If you're in the Tucson area and you want an estimate on yard work, make sure you Google Sticks and Stones and let's help a brother out, man. This is the gun. Bang, bang. Again, man, don't get all mad, Blue Devil. This is not meant to rile you up. This is meant to bring you down.